This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, so we're working with the statement of cash flow, and we said this statement was important for a number of reasons. Uh, and when there's a statement of cash flow for you as an individual, you want money in operation. That's where your salary is. You want investments to be negative because you're expanding, you're buying additional things. You want to pay off student loans and yet have cash left over. So there's cash from operations, cash from investments, and cash from financing. When we look at a company, same thing applies. They can have cash flow from operations, it's where their cash flow is supposed to come from. Best Buy cash is supposed to come from selling electronics, not from selling stores. We would hope Best Buy would have a negative number here indicating that they were expanding. We'd hope they're paying off debt and have a positive change in cash flow. So when you're analyzing a company, and you were supposed to do that, you're supposed to look at operations, investments, financing over a 3-year period and see what it was looking like to say, should I invest $1 million or not? If you go work for a company, you've invested $1 million. And when we look at those companies, for the employees, if you went to work for a fraudulent company, either you got caught up in the fraud and could go to jail, or you lost your job. And so it's not enough for you to go get a job and not check out the cash flow uh, items at that company on their financial statements and see, is this a company I want to work for? So I noticed that got a number of cash flow papers where people had done that. Any questions about any of that? Okay, we said that to get the cash flow statement, there was that fundamental equation: assets equal liabilities plus owner's equity, or assets equal liabilities plus common stock plus retained earnings. Then cash plus the other assets equal everything. And eventually we said what? Cash equal current liabilities plus long-term liabilities plus common stock plus retained earnings minus the current assets minus the long-term assets. And then we broke it down further. Cash equals the current liabilities plus the long-term liabilities, the common stock plus the net income minus the dividends minus the current assets minus the long-term asset plus contra accounts. So instead of looking at, to prepare a cash flow statement, 10,000 cash transaction, we could look at the changes in all of these accounts, might be 15 or 20 accounts, and come up with the same thing in terms of the change in cash. Are there any questions on this statement, the statement of cash flow, and that equation? Are there any questions on it, since you're going to see it on Thursday? Are there any questions on this, on how we utilize those equations to come up with the statement of cash flow? Any questions? Okay. Then we created a template.
This is this recording gonna be posted on YouTube like the other ones?
Yes, I'll try to get them up tonight. Okay. If you didn't have this template, and I told you to work on a cash flow statement, but I just said do it based on increases in assets and decreases in assets and increase in liabilities and decrease in liability, it would be a tough job. And And that's how it's typically explained. Most times there's no template like this, and people are just told to prepare a statement of cash flow. And start with net income. If an asset increases, it's a source. If it's a use. If the asset uh, decreases, it's a source. If it increases the use, the liabilities go to opposite. This is typically how it's explained, but I put it in template format for you. I said for operations, first item up there is a net income and net loss, then depreciation. Then if there's a decrease in the current asset, it's a source. If it's an increase in the current asset, it's a use. If there's an increase in the current liability, it's a source. If it's a decrease, it's a use. Because if you pay off a liability, the cash is going down. We want to eliminate any loss or gain on the sale of an asset from consideration so that operations only have, all we want operation to have is net income or lost, add back the depreciation because that's not a cash item. Then look at the changes in the current assets. If they decrease, if they're a source, if they increase their use. Liability for just the opposite. And what we're saying is that for a company to be operating well, for you to invest $1 million, you need a positive number on this line, over a period of time. If you don't have a positive number, that's problematic. Current assets and current liability. Investments is where we buy things given that we have a current cash flow. So, and we like to see a company expanding, buying long-term items. If it's selling long-term items, we said that's like you selling your car. If you were to sell your car, you can't get to school, you can't get to your job. So the company is the same thing. If they start, if Best Buy begins to sell all of its stores, a lot of its stores, they're not going to have any place for people to shop. Part three is how we finance the company. Did we issue stock or did we get some loans? Did we pay back the loans or did we pay a dividend to the owners? So cash down here is fine, but it does not show the profitability of the company. So this is why people got food. This is why the all of those uh, scams would occur because people would just be putting money in and getting paid dividends from other people putting in money later, but there was no cash up here in operation. So that's how a Ponzi scheme operates. They don't have any cash up here. They simply get cash down here, pay out a dividend to the first group of people from the second group, and they keep doing that until they run out of money. So cash and financing is not a good idea. And so what I told you to do that if you want to see on the test, put in the change in cash. Number one, I told you to do that first. Then I told you to put in the net income and net loss. If net income is a source, if it's a loss, it's a use. I told you to put in the depreciation. Then I told you to calculate if you weren't giving it the dividends, and you would calculate that using what? A statement of retained earnings. So to get the dividends, beginning retained earnings plus the net income less the loss, subtotal, left, dividends in question, got the end retained earnings, that difference. And so what I said was that if you could do those four things, change in cash, net income, depreciation, and dividends, you can make a C on the test. How many people can make a C on this test? At least How many people can make a C? So we got 2 people who could make a C. Take them out.
3.
Got 3 people who can make a C.
I can make a C.
Okay. Well, let's see if maybe we can practice a little bit. So everybody pull out either a spreadsheet or something. We're going to go all the way to problem 10. So, of course, you have these. Here's problem 10. So this is problem 10, income statement, cash, retained earnings. So what I want to have happen is everybody, all the people going to make C's, you do the first 4 things. Take out a sheet of paper. You should have this template. And I want to see how many people can do those first 4 things. So you got 10 minutes to get those first 4 things done. This is problem 10. So this is in you have this handout. So you just need it from here. So go do the first 10 things for me. Got it, Trayon?
Yes, sir.
What about Mr. Reed, Diamond Reed? Reed's mighty quiet there. So I want everybody to do the first 4 things that I just said. Okay, do we have the first four things done?
You betcha.
All right, who said that? You betcha. So let's see how many people will have C's on Thursday. Blank one in here? Oh, here's a blank one. What's the first thing you're supposed to put in here?
Changing cash.
How much
Changing
was it?
cash.
How
Changing
much?
cash.
Lost
How much was it?
50,000. Lost
How much?
50,000. They lost 50,000.
50,000. They lost 50,000.
50,000.
50,000. Mamãe gordinha, a adivinhança. Se as maranhas, peraí,
So that's the answer to the problem. Well, the second thing.
Net income
Oh,
600,000.
the income,
The net income.
100,000.
Net income, and we said it was 600,000.
600.
Yeah,
Yeah.
600.
600,000.
What's next?
Depreciation 100,000.
Depreciation
100,000.
is 30,000 depreciation.
Depreciation is 100,000.
Wait,
Uh-oh.
let me see.
100,000 depreciation.
Is it
100,000.
most people saying 100,000? Can I go with that?
Right.
Yes,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yes,
what I got
that's
too.
correct.
Oh yeah. My bad.
it's 100,000.
And then dividends.
How much are the dividends?
150,000.
100.
How much are the dividends?
150,000.
Everybody go through now. Here's a statement of retained earnings. I'm going to clear it. So this is the question mark here. Everybody go and calculate. Everybody go and calculate all the dividends. Take a couple of minutes to do that.
Huh?
Thank you.
Do we have the dividends calculated?
Yes.
How much are the dividends?
150,000.
So how do we get 150,000?
The beginning return earnings is 300,000.
Okay, the beginning return earnings 300,000. You see that on the balance sheet?
Yeah. The net
What's the net
income
income?
is 600,000.
How much?
600,000.
Our subtotal is what? 900.
100,000.
What's our ending retained earnings?
750,000.
750.
750.
But what does the dividend have to be to get it there?
Subtracted
150.
150,000.
Are there any questions on how we got that dividend? So that's the question. We know everything but the dividend. So how many people can make a C on Thursday now?
I think we
I
can.
can.
How did you get the subtotal?
I just added 300 and 600. You got 900.
Not
That's
not that. I meant the 600,000, the plus net income and the or minus. Where did that come from?
the beginning return earnings is 300,000. If you have income, you add it. If it was a loss, you subtract it. We have income, so we would add it. Got it?
No, that didn't answer. No, I didn't know where that 600,000 came from.
Probably from the income statement.
Oh shit! All right, yeah, yeah. All right, bet.
Be careful. 10. See the income? See that?
Uh, what did you get? 750 again?
What we're gonna do with it, Audrey?
Huh?
That was the ending retained earnings.
All right, let's go back to the ending return earnings.
Oh,
Beginning,
okay. I got it. I see it.
got it?
Yeah,
Wait a minute.
my bad.
Beginning return earnings, ending return earnings. So all you're doing is plug it and playing. So are we gonna be able to make a C on this?
Yes.
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 We're gonna be able to make a C. All right, but what about a B? Who's gonna make a B? Is anybody gonna
Very
make a B?
possible.
All right,
Yep. I can make a B.
Me
all right.
too.
So to do that, then we have taken care of what? The cash account. If we're taking care of the net income, got that done. We're taking care of cash. We're taking care of accumulated depreciation, and we've taken care of retained earnings. So to get a B, you just got to be able to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 other accounts. You got to be able to do 7 other accounts. We're going to do it in parts. We're going to do the assets. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 assets. The rule for assets is this. If the asset goes up, it's a use. If it goes down, it's a source. So we're just doing the assets now. And the current assets are going to be in what? Part one. Just going to put a Roman numeral 1. So if the current asset is going to be in 1, it's going to be in part 1. The non-current assets are going to be where? What part? They're going to be in part 2. So looking at that, can you go and fill out the location and placement of these items are kind of listed for you? Can we handle it? People who trying to make a week fee, can we handle it? Let's look at our template. Y'all getting quiet now. So let's go down where we were working at our blank template. Here's our blank template. It says if the current asset increases, this is if it decreases, it is a source. If it increases, it's a use. So you got to take the inventory and receivables and put it either as a source or a use. So sources, always up on the left, uses on the right. So let's do receivables and inventory. Let's see if we can do those. They're going to be in part 1. You just got to say whether it's a source or a use. Can we handle that?
Yes.
Handle it
You
then.
said if it increase, you said if it increases, then it's a use, and if it decreases, it's a source.
Right, got it right here in the template.
Okay. Okay.
See, the template is telling you that for the current assets. So what did the receivables do?
It went down by 25,000.
All right. So what is it going to be a source or a use?
Source.
Or
Source.
use
A source.
So we're going to take the account receivable.
Wait, didn't it increase? It went from 125,000 to 150,000.
What went up? Who said it went down? Thank you. So I don't have. I'm on the template here. So if it went up, it's going to be over here, right? It went up by how much? It went up by how much? Can't hear you all. How much did it go up by? I'm not gonna make me scroll.
25,000.
All right, so it goes here. What did the inventory do?
It increased.
It increased.
So it's gonna be right under the receivables, right? How much
Yes.
did it increase by?
25.
Was it 25,000 also?
I
Thought it
No.
thought
was 200,000.
Inventory was
It's 200.
200,000.
Thank you. Go and look at this problem and see what's going on here.
What the hell is problem now?
We did receivables went up by 25 and inventory by 200, and we done. So you can see why, accountants and finance people didn't learn how to do this. Now, see if you all can handle the equipment.
It went up.
It went up by 375.
It was
I want you all to
570.
do. I want you all to do the next two. I'm gonna scroll up here. I want you all to tell me. Take a minute. Well, I'm here to have it. So, what did the equipment do? You say it did what?
It
It
went
went
up by
up.
It
570.
increased
How much?
by 500, by 575,000.
So we'll put a 575 here. And what did the investment do?
575, yeah. Um, it
None
stayed the
turned.
same.
I
Two
thought.
hundred thousand.
How much did we have at the beginning?
Zero.
How much we got
100.
now?
100.
200,000.
Right. So it went up. The change is 200,000. Suppose that land IBM stock.
That's IBM.
Okay, so that we invested in IBM stock.
But it went up 100,000 though. It says on the
Yeah,
balance
I see
sheet.
100,000.
Where? Okay,
Yeah.
It was 100,000.
went up 100,000. All right, let me see
Yes.
if I can.
How did they get that?
Well, it has zero right here.
Right.
It's up 100. So the difference between 0 and 100 is what?
100.
Okay, that's the change.
Okay.
So now we're taking care of the equipment and we're taking care of the investment income and stock. So guess what? We only got three accounts left: accounts payable, long-term bond, and common stock. Now, when these items go up, they are sourced. They operate just the opposite. If they go up, they are sourced. If they go down, they're used. That is, if you get a student loan, your cash goes up. When you pay for that student loan, it goes down. Accounts payable is going to be located where? Part one. The long-term bond is going to be located where? Part three. Common stock is going to be located where?
That's
Part
an
three.
investment. So,
Now that's the finance of the company. Buying IBM stock is an investment, but when we put money in our company, that's how we finance it.
oh, okay.
The cash is coming in this situation. When we bought the IBM stock, cash went out. This is how you're doing your company. So can you handle these last three items?
Seem easy.
All right, we'll handle it then, since it seems easy. But we have to think differently in terms of the impact on cash. And when you don't think this way, people will fool you. So we said accounts payable went where?
It increased by 100,000.
Goes in part one, So if it's an increase in the current liability, it's what?
It's a use.
Oh, what happened when you get your student loan or your
It's
cash?
a
It's a
source.
it's a source.
Source.
So how much was it we said?
100,000.
Then we go to a long-term, what? It was a long-term note. How much did it go up?
100,000.
Long-term note went up 100. And how much did the common stock go up?
102.
I'm in the wrong place.
We said the common stock went up 100.
Here it is.
Okay. So now we got all of our accounts in the right, all the changes in the right location. Let's go up here to operations. The sources, 6, 100, and 100. What's our total sources? That maybe 800,000.
800,000. Yeah.
What are our total uses?
225,000.
Our net change in operation is what? 800 minus 225. How much is that? 575.
Yeah.
Operation went up by 575. What happened over here with equipment and stock? That's 675.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Then the treasury stock was 200. How much was the dividend?
It was 150,000.
We didn't put that in here, did we? So let's put the dividend in. So when we add up 200 and 150, what's our difference here? Sources exceed the uses by 50,000. So if we did the problem right, we can add up 575, 675, and 50. We're supposed to come up with a minus 50. So we have 575 here. And of course, this is a minus 675 because the uses exceed the sources. So right now we are at a minus 100. Plus 75 minus 675, we're at a minus 100. But then we got 50 in part 3, so that gets us to our answer that the cash went down by 50. So minus 100 plus 50, our calculation gets us to that same minus 50. Any questions? Any
Um,
questions
so on one of the totals, you got 800,000. Where did you get that? How'd you get that?
on one of the what?
I think it was the first totals. Yeah, right there. How'd you get that 800,000?
600 net income, 100 depreciation, 100 accounts payable, 800,000. So everything that's on the source side, we added up. Everything on the use side, we add up. We take the difference. So these are our sources. These are our uses. We had a net increase.
You
So we're
said
gonna
net income, depreciation, and what else?
put everything over here, depending on what numbers you have. Anything that's over in the source side, you add.
Can
Anything,
you please post this YouTube video to this video to YouTube today,
that,
please?
that might cost y'all.
Depreciation.
Dr. Boyd, come on
Go
now.
to,
I didn't
I
hear
have
Talk,
you.
to go to it.
talk
Okay.
about
Don't
it.
you want all of us to make A's?
Yeah.
Yes,
Of course, then upload it.
We'll post it today so we can study for 2 days.
Yes, we
y'all gonna
need to
study.
study
Are y'all gonna study today?
Yes,
today
Yeah.
and
it's
tomorrow.
the
How
exam
many?
and tomorrow.
Like tonight.
How many
The
people
exam
studied?
on Thursday at class
How many
time.
people studied the last one I posted?
Me. Is the
Me?
exam at 4 at class time?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Is this gonna be on Blackboard?
Yep, it'll be. You sign in here, and it'll be on Blackboard.
All right, cool.
Then hopefully next week we'll be on campus.
Oh, you going to campus? Thank you, Jesus.
Is
Is
there a
that?
way that you could do
I thought
it
you were
like
saying something
hybrid
about
or something?
tutoring.
So what now?
I thought I heard you last week say something about tutoring. There's tutors.
They were typically at 2:30. They were
Two
tutoring.
thirty.
Also at uh oh, they tutoring. They were tutoring at 11 and at 2:30. Now,
Where are the tutors located?
Right.
37 373 in the business building is on the third floor. At 11, then at 2:30, they were actually in our classroom, which is classroom 206. I think that's classroom with schedule. So they were in that classroom. Now,
And it's Monday through Friday.
it was on Tuesdays and Thursdays. For these are just volunteer tutors. Then there's another tutor who's all virtual, but she's there all the time. Now, what are y'all schedules like tomorrow?
At work.
I can be there. Like, just tell me the time.
Well, I was just seeing if there's a time that would work with you all tomorrow.
I can come anytime.
Anytime.
Yes. I work virtual, so I can just leave whenever I need to.
But the tutoring is going to be virtual, so you just sign in to the
Okay,
classroom.
well, just so how do we do that? Just sign in like on our
Just
on
like you do now. Just like you did now. What
okay.
is a good time to do that?
Professor
Maybe
Boyd,
5 o'clock.
Okay, 5 o'clock.
5 o'clock tomorrow?
Okay,
Just log in
Professor
just like you
Boyd.
log in right now to the meeting and everything.
right, just like you
Wait,
did
what's
now.
5 o'clock tomorrow? My thing cut
Tutoring.
out. What's 5 o'clock tomorrow?
We have a tutoring session, and we'll just probably work another problem at 5 o'clock tomorrow.
Well, thank you,
Okay.
Dr. Boyd.
Thank you.
Greatly
Anytime.
Um,
appreciated.
But we're gonna work
Professor,
another one today now.
Professor.
Yes.
Oh, class is gonna be in person now because I work.
Well, people
I thought it was
demand
all online.
everybody would have to agree to that. You
Yeah, we
see,
thought it
some
was
people
online.
It did say online when you signed up.
It
is
did.
what now? You said what?
online.
When you first registered, it said it was online.
Did it?
Yes.
Yes, it didn't say nothing about
Well,
being on campus.
I know it said that for some people because I know mine did say in person, but I thought you switched it to online. So my work schedule, I now have work during that time rather than, you know.
What we'll do is we'll
Mhm.
discuss this at some point on Thursday. So you all need to tell me Thursday what you want to do.
Maybe we can
Yeah.
have it in person on Thursdays and online on Tuesdays, or just all online. I don't know. But
Let
it
me
did
know.
say online when you registered. It did.
Oh,
Online
did
telecommunications.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
so? Oh, some people.
But I like to be on campus.
See.
Right. At least one day, like on Thursday, would be good. It's okay.
Could you do
Well,
like both?
I, I'm
Well,
going to. I'm going to investigate doing both, but I don't know how the classroom computers work. Okay, I don't know how those classroom computers work, but there's a possibility that we could do some combination. 373, where my office is, can handle 5 to 10 students. So some students could be in the office, then others could be in the classroom, and others could be. We'll see. We'll just have to play that by ear to see how we can work that out. But I don't know. I haven't been on campus yet, so I don't know how the computers in the classroom operate, whether they will handle it. And then you all are telling me they told some of you was virtual, some whatever.
Yep.
So we just have to try to work that out. Just let me think about it. Okay. But right now, let's see if we can work another problem. Why don't we try problem 8-6? And tomorrow we'll be doing the same thing. We're just going to work another problem. And hopefully, so by then at 5 o'clock, we work another one. We'll see where you ready. So now you want to clear your sheet, get a blank sheet, and do the first 4 things for problem 8-6. So you're supposed to have 8-6. So what I want you to do are the first 4 things for 8-6. Can you do that for me?
Can try.
Wait a minute now. This is the first 4 things for 8-6. Does everybody have 8-6 available to them? Good, because I'm going to go up and try to copy a template.
Can I take a picture of it?
8-6 where?
Uh, okay, I'll go back to it. I just want to take a picture of this. Copy. Okay. All right, so we'll go back. I just won't have to be flipping all of that. I'll clear this one out. So we're on number 6, correct? So these are the key things that you need on 6. And what I'm gonna do is we start working. I'm gonna clear this one out, then I'll have one close by. That's all I'm trying to do. So I don't have to do all that flipping. All right, do you all have the first four things done?
Yes.
All right, so the first thing was what? The cash. What was the change in cash?
It was 300,000.
Okay, so our calculated change in cash was 300,000.
300,000.
What was our net income?
650.
650.
650,000.
The net income was 650,000. What was the depreciation?
50,000.
What were our dividends?
150,000.
Let's see if we can calculate it. The beginning retained earnings was what? 300,000, right?
300,000.
Beginning re-
300,000.
net income was how much?
650,000.
650.
So our subtotal is what?
950,000.
Ending retained earnings.
Hey.
The ending was
800.
800,000.
And so what then does the dividends have to be?
$150,000.
I thought y'all had disappeared. Y'all got so quiet. Okay, so that's 150,000. And so with that, so you got your C. You got your C if you can do those four things. And you see, so now you can see why all the frauds were committed and not caught. You see, people didn't know what was happening with the statement, so they didn't look at it. So that was problematic. What's the next thing we're gonna do? Gonna do anything else to go higher than a C?
Yeah, you put everything in like its right place. I think that's
Well, let's see what we're taking care of now.
Doing the
We got
account receivable.
well, let's scratch out the net income. Then we're gonna scratch out the cash. Then we're gonna scratch out retained earnings. And we're gonna scratch out accumulated depreciation. Because that difference is what's always on the income statement, okay? So so we just have it there so it's easy to pull out. We could have gotten it here. So now we have to do what? We got to do what? Receivables, inventory, equipment, land, accounts payable, bond payable, common stock. Now you all should be able to do that by yourself, right? Right, Townsend? Right, Weatherspoon?
Right.
So I'm gonna give you all. I got those classes after this. I'm gonna give you all 7 minutes to see how far y'all can get. Because the bottom line is to do it on your own. And then we'll work another one tomorrow. So we have a full hour tomorrow. So tomorrow when we meet, we'll just work another one all the way through, taking our time. So you'll be ready by Thursday. So what happens on these recordings, they have to be recorded. Then they have to go to YouTube, and YouTube has to put them up. So I'm saying by 8 or 9 they'll be up. It's just that I can't just go and put them up. GoToMeeting has to make the recording, and they make a 4K recording. Then I send it to YouTube. YouTube then has to upload it. It takes them a while, but I will, as soon as I'll try to have it up by 9 o'clock. Okay, so see where you all can get in 7 minutes on your own. And how far did we get? And anybody get to receivables?
I did.
Nobody? Say what?
I did.
So what did you do with the receivables?
I put it as a use since it went up 100,000.
So that should be a use. Anybody get the inventory?
I did too.
So what happened to the inventory?
It's a use as well, and it's 300,000.
Equipment. Didn't get that far? Okay, so what I want you all to do is to finish this up, and then we'll go over this at the beginning of the period. So we go over this at 5 o'clock. So you finish this one, we'll go over it at 5, and then we'll work another one after we do this one. So that should be enough practice to get you where you need to do. This is 6. So then we get to equipment. We do equipment. What did equipment do? Went up by what? 450?
450 equipment.
Let's do one more. What happened with the land? It went down, so we got, so the land went away. We had gain on the sale of the land of what? 500,000. So that gain is in the net income. We don't want it there. And so we're going to go here, gain on the sale of a long-term asset, and we're going to put this in here. So the gain goes there, 500. The land cost us 100, and so therefore our cash proceeds from the sale of the land would be what we paid 100 plus the gain 500, and so that would put us at 600,000. That's how much we got for the land. So when we do that, we can scratch out the gain, and we can now scratch out all of these. and we can scratch out the land. And you only have 3 items left to finish up. You only have 3 left to finish up, and you'll be done. So finish those. We'll look at it quickly next time. If you're not here, I'll make sure it gets posted. And then we'll work another one tomorrow at 5 o'clock. And then we should be ready for our exam.
We're having class tomorrow too.
We're having a review session at 5 o'clock.
Okay.
So
And we
you
need to
sign
join
in
the.
just like you signed in for this. You just sign in for the review session at 5 o'clock.
Okay.
Professor.
Yes.
I won't be here on Thursday because we're leaving to Alabama for our track conference meet, and
I'll give
so
you I'll give you your test tomorrow.
you you can send if you can send me the test on email or something, I could work on it when I
It
get the
doesn't
time.
matter. Think about it and let me know.
Okay,
Think about it. See what works best.
thank you.
Can we head off, Dr. Boyd?
Yeah, we can go now. Some people have already left because they got the class, so I don't want to cover too much. We'll cover this next on tomorrow at 5. We'll cover it again, and then we'll work another one, and then you should be ready.
All right. Thank you. Have a good day.
I too. So y'all have a good day.
Professor Boyd, I just want to let you know I was here because my name's still on here, Agent P.
Your name is what?
I just want to let you know that I was here because my name still isn't like on the screen.
Is it on the okay, so it's gonna be recorded from this. Is your name on is it on the official roster?
Yeah, but I'm saying like I can't log in. I'm just here.
All right, got it.
Thank you, Dr. Boyd. See you tomorrow at 5.
Okay, see you then.